How's everyone doing? I'm going to try to do a live interview today, if this works. How was your week? It's pretty rough to start out, but we made it to Friday. Samantha, if you're on here, just comment or something. I'll try to bring you up. Not sure. I don't see you on here yet. Oh, let me see here. The other people, it says bring them on video. I don't know why I don't say that for you. Huh. Pretty much everybody else says that. Is there a button you can hit to, there should be a button you can hit to like join. Yeah, everybody else has to bring them on video, but yours for some reason. Is it maybe because, I don't know why. Maybe it's because you're on a laptop, maybe? I know where you live, Scott. Yeah, I wonder if you tried on the phone. Oh, here we go. Samantha, send that again. I almost deleted it. Turned the damn thing off. It popped up at the bottom here, but then it disappeared. Try it again once. I had problems with this last time I did this. What I'm trying to do here is interview Samantha, but we're having a little trouble here. Well, if you seen the post a couple of weeks ago about people that asking people if they wanted to like do like an interview and like tell their story, that's what I'm trying to do, but for some reason I can't figure it out. How you doing, Ryan? Samantha, it did say hit that same thing you just did where it said you wanted to join, but I hit finish instead. So if you can send that again, I don't know where it went. If you can send that request again. Man, anybody know how this works? Something did pop up at the bottom, but then it disappeared. I think you send a request and then it's so weird because everybody else, pretty much everyone else says bring them on video. Anyway, if you're new here, my name's Travis. I'm the one that runs the page. And I'm just trying to do an interview here. Okay, I'm waiting for it. See what happens. I don't even know. Okay, I got it. I sent you the invite. Okay. There we go. I think it's working. It says adding anyway. Good. Great.
Hey,
We figured it out. So weird,
I
man.
switched my phone, so
Oh, you went
uh,
through your phone?
yeah. So apologies for any unsteadiness. I'm just holding it. So
Oh, okay. So I guess it wouldn't work since I'm not on a laptop.
yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah, see, my laptop's so old, and when I do it, it's like staticky and stuff. So I just use the phone.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I appreciate you doing this. I mean, uh, I usually get on here and like talk about all my, what I went through. Pretty much, if you've been here for a while, you know my story. And like why I started the page because of loss of my friend. But I think it's important to hear everybody else's journey. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. And
there's
thank you
no,
for.
I'm sorry, there's no like guidelines or anything. I mean, you can talk about whatever you want, and I'll ask questions, and just go with the flow.
Sounds good.
So like how was your childhood growing up? Like, we'll start from there. Like from the beginning,
Um,
and then you can talk about whatever you want if it's, you know what I mean.
Absolutely. I was really lucky. I had a pretty good childhood. I had the standard brother, mom, dad. Um, but I also grew up feeling very different because I just felt like something wasn't right and never felt like I quite, I don't know, I guess fit in a different way. I remember Christmas times being a kid and loving them, but then the older I got, like around 10 or 11, I started to get like really depressed around the holiday and I didn't understand it and I just didn't get it. I knew that, I was lucky that I had a great family, but there was always that sense of not belonging 100%.
All right, so like, you think it was something like your own thoughts that made you feel that way? So it
Yeah,
wasn't like your surroundings or your family, or your brother. It was
no,
your own personal
no,
beliefs.
they were great. I had, I got A's and B's. I had everything that showed me as a good student, as a good kid,
Hmm.
as quote unquote good kid, whatever that means.
All right.
But I was just a standard kid, but I just always felt this sadness in me that I never could explain, that I never understood, this feeling of being different.
And that was like at an early age.
Yeah, I think I really noticed it around when I was 10, 11, and then actually when I was in seventh grade, so I was about, I don't know, 12, 13. My grandfather had a transplant, and my mom was taking care of him a lot, and I was, and always have been, really close to my mom. So I was it kind of shook me. I started noticing I was having problems sleeping. I didn't know how to express that to my family. I just was struggling with the stress of being a teenager, a stress of having my family disrupted. And that's when I really noticed, like, hey, I don't feel, I feel really different. I feel this sadness that I can't explain to anybody. And unfortunately, back then, you know, we didn't have counselors in school. We didn't
Right.
have this openness as much as we do now.
Yeah. So you just think it was like kind of dramatic, or not dramatic, traumatic for you, the fact that,
Hmm.
and then like it was just different for you, and you didn't know how to like it was like you didn't understand what was going on, probably, right? Because you were young,
Right.
and then it just affected you different than it did everybody else.
Exactly.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's interesting. So just that
Exactly.
alone kept you up at night and stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of stress, a lot of inner stress, and it continued to grow. And throughout my teenage years, I still, got the A's, B's, looked great on the outside, but I was struggling even further with depression. I started seeing a counselor. And then later when I was 19, I'm 37 now, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And suddenly a lot of things started making sense. And they just kind of, things started clicking in, like looking back,
Right.
like not being able to sleep, the stress, the anxiety, all of that kind of stuff.
So like once you were diagnosed, you could kind of go back and like put the pieces together. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. It was like a puzzle piece,
Yeah.
you know.
Like made sense to why you had them emotions.
Yeah.
Hmm. So what are some like when you were diagnosed with bipolar, like what? So you all right? So you told them what was going on, and then like what? How did they determine if like it's bipolar?
Well, it was actually really interesting. I worked in the summertime at a store, and one of my good friends at the store was like probably 10 years older than I was at the time. She was like 29, 30. She's and her husband had bipolar disorder, and she said to me, "Sam, like I don't mean to upset you,
Right.
but you know, you talk sometimes about your depression, you talk about these highs, you are really right now you're like overstimulated. Have you talked to this doctor, you know, about, you know, what's going on?" And she knew that I was struggling with medicine that wasn't working. And so I met this doctor, and he had me do a questionnaire. And then he talked about a little bit about how I was feeling, how college was going, why I was struggling. And he kind of looked at the questionnaire, and he looked at me, and he's like, "You have every symptom of bipolar disorder." I was initially diagnosed with bipolar 2, but then, as I say, it was upgraded to bipolar 1 later on down the road as more symptoms started coming about.
What's the if you can explain, because I don't even know. Like I said, I'm just a normal dude. You know, some people think I'm like I don't know what people think I am on the internet, but that's whatever. But like I don't know, like bipolar, like I don't, you know what I mean? Like, so what's the difference between one and two?
So with one, so you have highs and lows with both, but
Right.
with bipolar 2, you have a lot of severe depression with hypomania, which isn't a full manic state.
Can you?
And then
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just a lot of questions. Can you explain what that means? Hyper? What'd you say? Hypermania?
hypomania
Oh,
is like a lessened version of a manic state. So it's like you have some symptoms, but the time span is shorter. Whereas you have a manic state, it can last, you know, like a week. It can,
hmm.
and like symptoms are really intense, like really, not to say they're not with a hypo because they definitely are, but
Right.
they're more intense. Like you have more symptoms, more criteria met.
So like the depression would be like longer and like worse, and then is that like anxiety on top of that too, or?
Oh, there's definitely anxiety.
Right.
And so with basically the way I bipolar 1, you have to have a full manic episode, I think for like 7 days or something like that. Like there's a criteria with a number of days. And then with bipolar 2, it's a hypomanic episode with depression too. So, but there's definitely, I also have social anxiety disorder, I have anxiety disorder, I have PTSD. You know, I
Right.
just list a disorder, I probably
Right.
have it.
Right. So do you what do you medicate for
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Yes, I medicate and I go to therapy once a week.
Oh, you do. That's good.
Yes.
Probably what I should do, but I don't know. I think this would help a lot. You know, just even though I'm listening to somebody else's story, it just like I don't know. It just comes for full circle. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like I should probably go get diagnosed. Like I really never been like. I guess I've been to counseling and but I don't think I should probably go back and like have like a real, you know what I mean, like a real diagnosis. But
I recommend it to everybody, every single person on this planet, because to have someone to talk to that can provide
right,
solutions that you may not have thought of before
right.
is just, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Plus, it's like a third, like it's someone that don't know nothing about you. You know what I mean? So there's not going to be like no judgment. They don't know your background. I mean, except for what you tell them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly. There is that judgment-free
yeah.
sense of, they understand where I'm coming
All right.
from, and they know exactly how to direct me, like how to help me.
Did you was it like a process with the medicine, like where like, all right, this pill ain't working right, maybe we'll switch to this one? Was like a, and then you got all the side effects with it too, you know?
Oh,
That's
I'm still going through that. I just had a doctor's appointment last
right.
week, and I have made a medication
Oh,
change. It's
okay.
an ongoing process for me, and I'm considered treatment resistant, which means I've been on a lot of different meds that will work for a short period of time, and then they just seem to stop working for me.
Like
Um,
your it's immune to them.
Almost, yeah, and it's really frustrating. You get really tired because you just want to feel good for an extended period of time. You want to feel quote unquote normal.
Right.
And to get that normalcy, you just it's not giving up. It's
Yeah.
trying to know that there is hope somewhere at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I never thought about that because like, so let's say you're on like your second pill or whatever, you know, like you're like, all right, great, this is working awesome, right? And then
Mhm.
boom, all of a sudden it stops. Now you're like, shit, you got
Yeah.
to go over. You know what I mean? And it's probably like a, it's like getting so far with something and then having to start back over.
Yeah, it's just, it really pisses you off because you're just like, why? Why can't it just work? Why
Right.
can't I just be a person to pop a pill and walk out the door and be fine? But, it's, I don't always see it this way, but I'm feeling good. So I feel it's a blessing and a curse because it's a curse in how it makes me feel, but it's a blessing in that if I can help somebody else understand, like, hey, you're not going through this alone,
Right.
and I have the same feelings, then,
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I always thought. And then after that happened with my buddy, I just thought like, I can't be the only one. You know what I mean? Obviously, I thought like
exactly.
the same way I did. Like the same
Mhm.
my. And then you look it up. I never had Facebook. That was like 2017. I never had it, and then it just started because you don't realize how many people actually do suffer with it. And I think it is like if I could, I wouldn't even take medicine. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I wish
Absolutely.
not like, I don't know, like it sucks waking up every day and taking pills.
I hate it. And I hate that, I feel, like I have to, 9:30 at night, every night I have to
Right.
take them. I can't just jump in a car and fly to the Bahamas
Yeah,
and,
right. Oh,
you know,
no,
there's
no, I can't,
planning.
especially flying. I mean, I just started flying again. Now you bring that up. I just started flying again, but I have to take like a Xanax to do it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I could just get on a plane and be like normal. There's no way, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild. So does it like affect like your work and stuff?
So I haven't been able to work for a couple of years, actually, because it's my bipolar disorder is so severe. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, no. Can
Can
you
you
hear
hear me?
me at all?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can
now I
hear you.
can hear you. There we
All
go.
right, good.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to work for a few years now. It was a really, really hard decision, but what I was going through was electroconvulsive therapy, or ECT, and I had roughly over 40 ECT sessions.
Yeah.
And
Oh, go ahead.
oh,
Sorry, I keep interrupting you. I apologize.
no, you're fine.
Okay.
Um, to help me with my severe depression. And it also affected my memory a lot as well. And it's one of those unfortunate side effects, but that contributed, as well as just having difficulty being able to I don't know, I hate to say function, but being able to function like a regular person in the workplace.
What was that called again? ETC, was it?
ECT,
ECT.
electroconvulsive therapy. So if you're familiar with like, I hate to use this example, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, it's
Yeah.
where they shock your brain into
Oh,
a
yeah.
seizure,
Mm.
and the seizure, the waves affect your brain chemistry, and it can actually help with severe depression.
But it's not. It won't affect you like a regular seizure. Oh no, you said seizure. All right. I was thinking something else. Sorry.
Oh no, you're
I was
fine.
thinking stroke. Stroke for some reason. I don't know why I was thinking of stroke, but
It does affect you like a regular seizure. You have memory loss. A lot of people do. I've had severe memory loss. Your muscles, they give you like a muscle relaxer, but sometimes they hurt afterwards. It's tiring. It's exhausting. I went through 6 weeks of 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of ECT, and then tapered down. It's hard, but it kept me alive, and I'm grateful for that.
would you recommend it? Even though like the side effects?
Um, Personally, I say that anybody, if you were in as bad a state as I would, and I was, you will do anything to get yourself better. And you have to recognize the side effects, recognize what might happen. But when you're in that state, from going from like a suicidal state to being able to get around and do things more and start to build your life back, to me, it was worth it every second.
Right. Because I mean, if you wouldn't have, who knows where you would, be now.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's just a shame that it's like anything in life, though. Like the positive, there's always a negative.
Yep.
So you got the pills, you got the, make sure I say this right, ECT treatment.
Yes.
All right. And then you got that comes with seizures and then memory loss. But like, what do you do? Like, you know what I mean? It's either you do it or you don't.
It gets black and white like that. You have to choose what is worth it. And to me, to be able to live and really live and
to be
not live
happy.
in my bed.
To be happy.
To be happy.
Right.
Yes.
What else does anyone else in your family struggle with like anxiety, depression, or anything?
Yeah, both sides of my family has mental illness problems, so it wasn't really too much of a shock, I think, that it got passed on, but still, it's one of those where you don't know, because one person can be okay and the next person, the genes hit you, and
Yeah.
this is what you end up with.
Yeah, because some people, it might not even bother them really. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like as bad, it's still going to affect them, but I don't know. Everyone deals with situations different. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's definitely very interesting. I never heard of that ECT. How long is the treatment? Like the shock? Like
it depends, like the actual, like what they want to do, like how bad your treatment, or like how severe your symptoms are, like where you are in a state. But like for me, just going in for a treatment, I would have to be there at like 5:30 in the morning, and then I would be home by 10 o'clock in the morning. And I had undergone anesthesia, so I couldn't drive. I had to have someone take me. And my mom, bless her, stayed with me, went through the whole treatment with me, took care of me. So my husband was still able to go to work. And, that's a lot of it, is just finding, not everybody has someone who can do that.
Did your insurance cover that? Or is that I had to pay that out of pocket?
It's covered. I think it's like, it depends on what kind of insurance you have, but it was covered as a treatment. I had to undergo like, I don't know, think, like, what is it, insurance approval or
Right,
prior
right.
authorization.
To make sure you needed it and all that.
Yeah.
I forget the name of that. It's the same thing with like a CAT scan. They're not just going to give you one.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You got to have proof or the dog. I forget. I went through that too before, and that's so weird. But they always, this is like anything. Like when you get in a wreck or something, you know, the insurance companies fight over who's going to pay it.
Exactly.
Sad too, because you're dealt with someone's life. You know what I mean?
And it's hard because you just want to get better. You don't want to have to deal with another step.
Right.
But
Yeah, I mean it's nuts. Yeah, I never heard of that. So I didn't. So they got to put you under too when you do it.
yeah, you go under, so you're not awake, you don't feel anything, and then they could put connectors up to your temples, and then there's a machine that causes the seizure in your brain. So
How long did? How long? All right. So when they hit, that's just it's probably not like this, but when they hit the button, right,
mhm.
starts to shock. How long is that shock? Like how long would that last?
It depends person to person,
Oh, okay.
and there's actually two different types. There's unilateral and bilateral,
Hmm.
and that's just where they are like going for both sides versus one side of your brain. And so the longer the seizure, like the longer, the better it is.
All right.
So it's really interesting. And if are you familiar with Carrie Fisher at all?
Hmm.
She played Princess Leia in Star Wars.
No, I never watched Star Wars, but I know.
Okay. She's an amazing. She was an amazing actress, and she wrote who had bipolar disorder, and she wrote two books,
Okay.
and both include discussion of bipolar disorder, and she underwent electroshock therapy too, and she actually wrote an entire book about it, and it was a humorous book. It was absolutely hilarious and so relatable.
Right. So she
But
made light of the situation, even though it's
yeah,
a lot of through.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I never knew that. That's another reason why I like doing this because you learn so much shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Other people that like I don't think I ever heard of it anyway. Unless I forget, but so yeah.
It was more. Oh, I'm so
Sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it was more popular in the 50s and 60s.
Real?
Yeah.
Not either.
And so it's kind of making a comeback per se. And not every hospital, not every location does it. You have to be like, the doctor has to be like specially certified in doing ECT and undergo a lot of schooling and, extra work to get that.
So and you had to go through that process 40 times? Oh, you didn't. You chose. You know what I mean? You chose to whatever.
Right.
However you
Yeah.
want
And some people, like, they'll do it a few times and they feel great and that's all they need. Other people need more, and it just depends. I haven't had it for about a year, and I'm still going strong. I definitely have had my downs, but that's been with medication changes too.
Right.
So I haven't been to the point where I have needed it.
How long, like after? All right. So say you go through, like you said, like from 5 in the morning to 10, and then you go home. Like how soon can you tell a difference? Is it like that fast or?
Usually the first day I was tired and groggy just from being under anesthesia.
Right. You're just kind of like whatever.
Yeah. I know the first time I started doing it, it took like a good 3 weeks, 2 weeks before I really started to tell a difference, maybe about 2 weeks. And it got better with each one. And then we would taper back. And then if I needed to come back, my doctor told me you can always come back.
Is there like a limit on like a health risk? Like, all right, so you did it 40 times. Like, is there like, all right, man, now you're getting to like, once you get to 40, it's kind of a, you don't want to do no more or no?
I know people just from a support group that, from that go weekly, it just depends on everybody. It's different and it affects everybody differently too.
Right. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And so there's like no, like there's no like downtime you need to take in between? Like you said, weekly. So like just say like 4 or 5, 6 days is good enough to have in between.
Well, for me, when I first started, it was the 3 days a week. And so I was pretty exhausted.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, you're fine. I was pretty exhausted for the first 6 weeks. I had to take off work, and then went back and found that like my memory was still struggling, and that's kind of like what also moved me towards deciding to focus on my health and not working.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you would. That'd be a rough after that, and then going to work the next day.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know,
Oh,
like some people can do it. I can't.
yeah, it seems like a lot, especially if you're doing it, that many times a week.
I think they recommended that, that 6 weeks that, I took off work completely just because you're going under. And so you figure you need a day of rest, to just recover. And then the next day you're preparing for the next one. So, but that was just kind of like the starter pack per se, and it really varies from person to person.
Yeah, that's a lot of shit to go through.
Worth it
So,
though.
so you would recommend, you to somebody else, to try it at least?
I would recommend anything that I, deem that I think is healthy, and I think it's, a healthy alternative. And it's when you're that low, when you're that depressed, when you're at your lowest of your low, and you're ready to fight, and there's just a little bit of fight left with you. The ECT
Right.
helped me there.
Huh, that's pretty wild. I'm going to do some research on that. I mean, I learned a lot today, but I don't think I ever heard of that before. And
Yeah.
did you have to travel far for it, since like not every hospital does it? They do it at the hospital or like a therapy?
Yeah, they did it at the hospital. Not every hospital does it. It just really depends on your location too. Some people have to travel really far. I was living in the same city, so it was maybe like a half an hour drive tops, maybe 20 minutes. But I was very blessed to not be too far um, from the hospital.
All right. So you think you'll do it again, or?
If I have to, I will. And
All right.
that's what I know. I don't want to, but I don't want to take my medicine either. And I do because I want to be okay. And if I get to that point where I need to, then I absolutely will.
Yeah, it's like I don't even really take, if I had a headache and shit, I don't even take like Advil, because I take medicine for like my anxiety, depression, and then I take stuff for like, so like I try to, like, if I don't have to take it, like I just deal with the headache because I'm sick of taking pills. Unless it's real bad, you know what I mean? Then I'll do it, but
Right.
just, I don't know, it just sucks. And I know there's natural ways, you know what I mean, to overcome some of this stuff, but I don't know. I'm so scared to get off. And then like some of that medicine, if you just quit cold turkey, I tried doing it. I was like sick.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
got
yeah.
really, really sick. I was like, oh man, to the point where I had to take. I think it was for my anxiety medicine. I had to take some because if not, I would have felt like shit. So
It's so hard because it's like, the side effects sometimes are just frustrating. I know I've gained so much weight
right,
since starting
yeah,
my medications, but what are you going to do? You try to eat healthy, you do your best, and know that, it's a matter of literal life or death.
yeah. Because now you're dealing with like, we all want to be physically fit, right? But then you got to be. If you don't have your mind, and I mean, without your mind, I mean, everything else is going to crumble.
Yeah,
You can't go work out if you're not in the right state of mind.
exactly. And the way I look at it, it doesn't matter. Like, okay, so let's just say I'm skinny, but I'm stuck in bed all day because I can't function. I'm not living. What's the,
You got to find a happy medium. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
you feel better after working out and shit, but some people you can't even function. You can't even leave the house.
Yeah.
Like some people are that bad. Like I had social anxiety where I'd wait outside stores until it was empty. Just like a little like convenience store, you know, to buy a drink or something. I'd wait till, because I hated being in line. I hated having people. I don't know. It was weird. I hated being in line. I'd get it driving bridges. I still get it going over bridges. Like just panic,
Hmm.
complete panic. It's horrible.
Certainly not an easy road to have to travel on ever.
No, I never understood. Like, what the hell? I'm just driving over a bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, we have some bridges by my house that are like a mile long. You know, that go over like the river. Sometimes, man, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But then I try to focus, just like look at different colors. You know, count shit to just distract your mind, man. Sometimes it works.
Whatever you
I mean, it's been bad.
can do.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I just said whatever you can do.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, but then again, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes you're not even anxious at all.
Yeah.
So weird. Like some days, like Monday and Tuesday sucked, Wednesday sucked, and then Thursday and Friday, I was like today and yesterday are like 2 great days for me. You know what I mean? But like nothing changed, but my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just weird.
It's a battle, and it'd be so much easier if we just knew what we were getting into every single day.
Yeah, like if you could just wait. Like me, I plan everything. That's like anxiety. You know what I mean? So you just plan everything.
Right.
If it goes off track just a little bit, you know what I mean, or something else comes up, it like ruins your day. Like, and then I'm all pissed off. But it's like, why? It's just, you know what I mean? It just didn't go as planned. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's one day at a time.
It's all you can do. Take it a moment at a time sometimes.
Yeah, right. Couple seconds. Well, I appreciate you coming on here.
Well, thank
Um,
you so much for having me. It's great to talk to you.
but you can always, you know, you can do it again. I appreciate you doing it, the first person. And like, there's like, I was sick there for them 2 weeks, and then there's some times where like I didn't even want to do this. You know what I mean? But then when I'm done, I feel so much better.
And thank you for doing this, because
Yeah, thanks for being here.
you know, this is great.
Yeah, if you ever want to do it again, just message me, and we'll make a date or whatever. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for breaking the ice. I mean, it's the first so-called episode of, you know, telling your story. So
Absolutely. I am honored.
yeah, and if you ever want to share anything or anybody, just you can message me, you know, and then I can post it. Because like I think I have it set up on Facebook where you can't just post, because like if I'm busy or something and someone gets on there and just starts, you know, some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm in trouble, and then my page got shut down before for stuff like that, and then it's just a mess. So, but I appreciate your story. It's awesome. I learned a lot.
Good.
And
Good. Thank you. Thanks for letting me talk.
yeah, I appreciate it. So, if, like I said, anything else, just message me, and we'll go from there. Have a great night, and thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.